Hollywood Bet Scottsville, welcome everybody. Lovely to see all of you. I hope that the Tuesday Championships finale meeting was a good one for everyone. And we look forward to the Hollywood Bet Scottsville meeting. The start of the bipod with race number 2. Len Mayhew's on the line, and we got an odds-on favourite in the form of Vibe Check for Sean Veal's riding for the Vaughan Marshall stable, who does look like the right horse. One Pepper, on the other hand, does come off quite a strong form line from the stable of Adam Azzi. There's quite a bit of talk about that. Is a 22-10, and that horse Bright Blue, Garth Puller's horse, got a bit of a turbo, this horse, so watch out. 5-1. It's 16-1 bar, the three of them. Bipots, Len, good morning to you, and well done on catching the pick six, firstly, and secondly, Bipot first leg, what are we doing?
Good morning, Clyde. Yes, look, the Cape Visitor Vibe Check, she comes in with some very strong form. Because the last time he ran was against two first-timers who both looked to be very promising, and finished ahead of a horse called Tag and Release, who came out and won easily next time out. So certainly the one to beat. But then again, the One Pepper, he debuted well, and he finished ahead of a Riff Raff Boy and Tommy Greeny, who both came out and won. So it must be a big danger. Look, for the bipod purposes, I've included the three horses. I included Garth Puller's horse, Bright Blue. I mean, it's done nothing wrong. It's improving. Because the reason I've covered that is that Vibe Check is drawn widest at 11. So, but he certainly does look to be the one to beat. So for the smaller players, if they want a banker, I'd say bank a Vibe Check. But I've played it safe because the perm's not very big. It's only a 90 Rand per.
And that, yeah, correct. And that form line, of course, to Vibe Check as well. I mean, Kalahari King, as you say, has already been franked, and quite a strong one now, good Kalahari King is. So there we go, Bipots 1-11 in the first leg, cost 90 Rand. All right, guys, let's get on to the next race on the card now and take a look at race number 3, start of the Place Accumulator, and give an idea as to what's going on in the betting. And Lady Nancy's all the rage here. That Chad Little's riding for the Nati Cotson stable, 13-20 to win. 1 Greek Heritage is at 2-1, and 6-1 about number 3, Gimme the Power. Odds on about Lady Nancy, but from the looks of what we see on paper here, Len, I guess a hard horse to beat.
Yes, certainly, Clyde. She was very unlucky last time at Greyville, where she jumped slow and she had it all to do turning for home. She was doing low flying at the finish and only got beaten short head. So certainly the one to beat. And I think she can open her winning account today. The one horse Greek Warrior, she ran a cracker on debut, and she's going to love the distance. So she's obviously, to me, the biggest danger. And then we've got the Cape Visitor, Gimme the Power. She's placed in her last of 4 of her last 5 runs, so she looks the next best, but certainly going to be hard to beat Lady Nancy.
Lady Nancy, Place Accumulator banker. We've got a few bankers in that PA perm. It's on your screen at the moment. And Len Mayhew's Place Accumulator works out to 360. So Educator Craig Zaki's having such a great run. He had 4 winners on Tuesday at Turpentine. He's riding the source for Dean Kannemeyer. Educator, who's priced up at 28-10. Second choice is number 3, Tomiris at 7-2. 6 Winter Rainfall is 7-2. The 4 Ice Rain has gone out 9-2. 7-1 the 5 Forward Motion. 8-1 the 8 Perilla. And then it's 14-1 and better the others. Educator is the horse to beat. I guess the right one. Perhaps not completely overs. I don't know. There might be a few that have got chances in this race. Len?
Yes, Clyde, I thought this was a very competitive field, and you can make a case for virtually all the runners in the race. I'm leaning towards the 3 horse Tomiris. She loves the course. Excuse me. She loves the course, and she always runs well there. So I think she would be my narrow first selection. She did finish ahead of Educator, and she looks probably the immediate danger. But then there's plenty others, Cloud. You've got Ice Rain. She's very good on her day. The last run was certainly all wrong. I mean, I'm going to draw a line through that. Then you've got a filly like Forward Motion. She never runs a bad race. However, she does come back from a 4-month break. Winter Rainfall, she's been knocking at the door, and then Perilla, who's showing signs of getting back to her best. So to me, it's virtually a field race. So I've gone wide in this race.
Okay, wide we have gone pick sixes all of 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 at Permal cost around 198 Rand for 10%, and Len does have a couple of bankers sorted in the pick six there for us. Okay, let's get on to our next event on the card now. We're going to have a look at race number 5. We're going to get jackpots on, and Roy's Grace tops the board here at 28-10 for the Andrew Fortune and Com Naidu combination. 28-10 at this point in time. 5 Radu is 33-10. 2 Taylor's Version is 9-2. 13 La Madalena is trading at 15-2. The 3 Golden Moment is 8-1, and the 10 on the card Sheshan Tombi is trading at 10s as well. It's 16-1 and better about the balance. Now, take into account we've got a couple of scratchings here, the 4 and 9, so there have been a few amendments with some also additional interest in Andrew Fortune's ride here, Len.
Yes, Clyde. Unfortunately, they scratched my original banker, which was Mississippi Spice. So it's thrown the race wide open. And then they've, this morning, just a short while ago, I see they scratched the other horse that I fancied, Praise de la Rey. So it's not a race that I like. I was pretty impressed with the way Taylor's Version won her maiden last time at the course. You know, she was going away, and she's improving. So I think, you know, she's fit and well. I think she'll be in the shake-up. Then you've got a horse like Radu. She's flattered to deceive. You know, she's burnt me a few times. She's just hasn't been getting it right, but she has to go in a race like this. Then obviously Roy's Grace. She must have a chance. But all in all, Clyde, it's a very tricky race. So I hope we can get through the pick six here.
Okay, let's do that. That's the jackpot in this particular leg. That's what we're doing, 1 through 3, and then the 5 through the 14 as well. So make a note of that. So kind of the field really for 260. We are going to banker number 5 in the next leg. We'll talk to Len about Karari Dancer, but it's odds on at 9-20 and should take quite a lot of beating. 260 that jackpot. All right, good day, welcome back. Let's move on to our next race on the card, where this horse does look like it's going to take quite a lot of beating. It does, of course, come from the Justin Snaith stable, and Andrew Fortune's riding Karari Dancer. Some say a penalty kick, it should win, but we are racing at Hollywoodbet Scottsville Maritzburg, and Maritzburg, you know, it can show up some funny results every now and then. But with all of those things taken into account, it does look like Karari Dancer's race to lose. Lady Jean, second choice at 9-2, and then 12s and better their balance. Would you be in agreement, Glenn? Hard to beat?
Yes, definitely, Clyde. You know, Karari's Dancer, she looks hard to oppose on her Cape form. She was beaten under a length by Red Spice in the Grade 3 Cape of Good Hope Nursery after battling to get a clear run at a crucial stage of the race. And in her penultimate race, she was slow into stride, and Musi had to ride her with a slipped saddle, and that was against the Colts. So now that she's back against her own sex, I mean, she really does look hard to beat. I can't go against her, so I'm banking her in all perms.
Okay, banker in all perms. Banker 5 now in this trifecta with those horses to run second and third. To the next we go, and Rich Man's World looks like the right part here. Has 11-20 to win it. Master Magician's in with that claim, is currently trading at around 15-10, and then one Flamethrower and the balance almost 20s and better the balance. It looks like an absolute two-horse race from a market perspective. Rich Man's World odds on to win it. Master Magician and Tristan Godden, they're quite bullish and they're strong about this. So which side of the fence are you going here, Len?
Clyde, this is really going to be an exciting clash between the two unbeaten colts, Rich Man's World and Master Magician. You know, both of them have been more than impressive in the manner in which they've won. And it's going to be a pity to see that one of them loses their unbeaten title. I would like to have put both of them in all perms, but unfortunately the perms are a little bit big, like the pick six. So I've sided with Rich Man's World, and I've bankered him in the pick six. But in the first jackpot, I've put the both of them 7 and 8. Yes, going to be a very, very good race. As I say, if I had to side with anything, I'd probably side with the Cape Challenger, a Rich Man's World, but I can't fault Master Magician. He's really smashed his opposition when he's won.
Yeah.
So, going to be a good race.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be a very good race indeed. Those are the two we expected to fight it out. In this case, in this particular play, we're banking Rich Man's World. In others, Master Magician's definitely an option, and that jackpot, the way it stands, costs 288. Okay, race has become harder now, not easier, and it's 7-2 the field in this, where number 5 definitely yes tops the boards at 7-2, the 1 Paratrooper. There's some talk about that. 11-2, the 6 Navajo Dancer 6-1. 4 Yanakis is trading at 13-2, 8-1 the 2 Winter Waves, 8-1 the 3 Your Ladyship, and then you can get also 8-1 about the 10 Zoom Bomber 10s. And better the balance. I'm just having a look at the market to see where's the interest. If anything, it's relatively quiet. If anything, probably definitely yes. Khaleesi Mbutu's ride. There's been a bit of money for that, Len.
Clyde, look, it's a very open race, but I'm siding with the 6-horse Navajo Dancer. You know, he comes in with a very, very handy galloping weight of only 49 kilos. He had placed in his last 5 runs before being rested for 5 months. And, you know, if he comes back fit and well, then I think he will go close. This filly, Your Ladyship, she returns to her favourite course, and she could surprise. But there's a number of other runners, Clyde, that are in with chances. So for me, I suggest loading up in this race.
Okay, then let's just do that. We load up in that exacta, use those numbers, and hopefully that's how they'll run. All right, guys, let's go to our next on the card and have a look at the 9th race, where number 7, Cardinal Chief, is 7-2 to win it. Rachel Veniker and Garth Puller team up. 1 Putalicious is 4-1. 4 Island Forever. Some talk about this. Heard about the Richard Fourie Vaughan Marshall horse, shortened to 9-2 from 5-1. 5 Grand Appeal is currently trading 13-2. 2 The Marquis is 7-1. And Drickus, if you like a bit of that, is at 12s, 14-1, and better about the balance. By now, we're not quite sure how Vaughan Marshall day is going, because whilst we're doing it Wednesday morning, you might be watching this late Wednesday afternoon. But Island Forever is a fancy. What do you think, Len?
Clyde, I think this is another very open race. Yes, one needs to respect the Cape Challenger Island Forever, you know, ridden by Richard Fourie, trained by Vaughan Marshall, you know, must be a big runner. But I'm siding with the 5-horse Grand Appeal. If I was to have a bet here, I think he's a decent each-way bet. He hasn't had the best of draws in his last 2 runs, and he finally gets a draw today. So I really do think he's going to run a big race. Again, but looking past him, there's many others with chances. Cardinal Chief, you know, he was only just denied victory last time and must also go in. There's a host of others, Clyde. Drickus, the Marquis. Parmenian, for me, is a nice roughie, because he's an absolute 1,400-metre horse. He doesn't go a yard further than that. The minute they try him over a mile, he flops. But back over the 14, Scottsville, he's a nice roughie to add in. So for me, very open race.
Open race. Using the 5 years floating, and we're going 1, 3, 4, 6, and 7 in the 9th. Okay, to the 10th and final. Let's move on to that. See what we're going to do in this particular last one, where Keegan DeMello's on What a Passion, who's at 3-1. Was 33-10, riding for Gareth van Zyl. Then you've got Rachel Veniker and Mace Roberts' horse, number 1 Siberian Winter, who's trading 33-10. A little bit of interest in Act of Grace, if not in need of the run. Chad Little rides that for Glenn Cotson, fancied 4-1. been some support for it into fives. 11 and 2, the 5 Spirit of Shimla, and 7 to 1 about number 10, One Path. You are reminded that both 2 Blue Horizon and 9 Captain's Pride are now out. So there'd be a few in here that would have chances, but some word around about Active Grace, Len.
Clyde, you could make a case for virtually every horse in the race here. Again, it's an open race, but I agree. I'm in the camp of Active Grace. Although she's had a 3-month break, if she comes to the track fit and well, I think she's going to be a big runner. She won her only start at the course, although it was only a maiden, but she won very comfortably that day, and she looks like she's regaining her best form. As I say, though, she has had a 3-month break, so might not be 100% at her peak. Looking past her, though, as I say, you can make a case for virtually every runner in the race. So I would suggest her as a roving banker in the trifecta.
Okay, and that will do. We will rove number 3, Active Grace, and don't forget to include 1, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 10. Cost 90 Rand. That's the latest from Hollywood Bet Scottsville. Thanks everybody for this Wednesday meet, as we look forward to catching up with you again when we go to Turfentine on Thursday.